The real climax is truth, the question that cracks the mirror. Why does sex play such an important role in everyone's life? Why does it feel like the source of our greatest ecstasy and our deepest shame? Why do the most unforgivable crimes involve it, and yet our entire culture worships it in every image, every song, every whisper? Why does it feel like the body is in charge of the mind, dragging us into hunger, memory, fantasy, and calling that desire? We laugh about it, cry about it, get locked up for it, get famous for it, build whole lives around it. But what if everything we think we know about sex is a cover story? What if sex is not the sin we were warned about, or the salvation we were promised, but the mirror? And what if that mirror is showing us something we're finally ready to see? The final altar of the ego. Sex is the ego's last stand. It's the place where illusion still feels like truth. It's the proof, the pleasure, the promise that we're separate, yet trying to become one. The ego doesn't just use sex, it needs sex. Needs it to reinforce the body. Needs it to chase union through form, even while ensuring that union can never last. That's why we keep reaching for it, not just for pleasure, but for evidence. Evidence that we exist, that we're wanted, that we're powerful, that we matter. And when it goes wrong, when it crosses the ego's invisible moral lines, it becomes unforgivable. The sex offender, the cheater, the freak, the deviant. Cast out, cancelled, exiled. Not because of what was done, but because of what it reveals. The ego's game, exposed. But the miracle sees differently. You are not a body. You are free. There are no private thoughts, and there are no private minds. Nothing real can be threatened. And suddenly we see it. We were never chasing sex. We were chasing God. And the orgasm, that was just the closest thing the ego could imitate, the marketplace of the sacred lie. Now let's walk into the marketplace. Sex has become commerce, marriage has become contract, bodies have become currency, and the whole world runs on a game that no one remembers creating. If I can't be free in this body, at least let me profit from it. That's the deal so many have made. Because the body has cost them so much in pain, so much in shame, so much in performance, that monetizing it feels like justice. Survival dressed as empowerment. Men buy what they feel they can't earn. Women sell what they've been told is their only value. And both are haunted by a deep knowing that none of it is real. That they are more than this, but can't remember what that means. Meanwhile, marriage becomes the final sales pitch. I found my person. Until they're not your person. We signed a prenup. Because love now comes with legal disclaimers. If a Martian landed and heard about this thing called love, and then saw what we did with it, they'd ask if we were okay. And we'd laugh nervously. Because we're not. The game that everyone's playing. Let's go deeper into the dance. She's told to guard her body. He's told to conquer it. She's sacred. He's savage. But both are playing roles in a rigged game, and both are in chains. And if she cheats or he cheats, the world erupts, not in compassion but in judgment, not in presence but in possession. You didn't cheat on me, you cheated on you. That's the truth we don't want to touch. Because if I truly loved you and you wandered away and I saw you hurting, confused, searching for something outside yourself, wouldn't I bless you? Wouldn't I say, I want what's best for you, not just what keeps me comfortable? But no, the ego doesn't bless. It wants ownership, control, vengeance. It wants a God who's jealous because it is. And so we've turned love into surveillance, turned intimacy into insecurity. And we call that normal. Sex, shame, and the narcissism of memory. Let's talk about freaky and non-freaky. Let's talk about the ego's need to classify, categorize, and compare. Oh, you're into that? Oh, I could never do that. Oh, I need it big, strong, fast, this, that. This is not sex. This is ego performance art. You have sex, and instead of being in the present moment, you carry it around like a trophy, replaying it, re-experiencing it, not for love, not even for pleasure, but to prove you were desirable, to prove you had power, to prove you were real. We've sexualized everything, every show, every joke, every ad, every gesture, and yet no one feels fulfilled. Because you can't consume your way to connection. You can't fake your way to freedom, the exile and the awakening. And this is where it gets painful, because those who fall outside the lines, those who cross the ego's sacred boundaries, are cast out completely. The man caught with the wrong person, the woman who sells what others give away, the child abuser, the trafficker, the registered sex offender. We're not defending the acts, but we're asking, what created this world where people confuse abuse for love, where power is mistaken for intimacy, and where shame is deeper than healing? And what do we do when the person is crying for help, but all we can see is their crime? The ego wants punishment, but spirit wants healing. Because even the most horrific acts are still cries for love, born of deep illusion, deep separation, deep forgetting. And if you exile someone at their most broken moment, that's not justice. That's ego preservation. From possession to presence, sex is not evil, but it is not salvation either. It is a doorway. Used by the ego, it becomes a prison. Used by spirit, it becomes a mirror. It shows us everything we believe about our worth, our body, our power, our wounds. It shows us where we grasp, where we perform, where we hide, where we hurt. And if we let it, if we stop judging it and start witnessing it, sex can lead us home. Not through pleasure, not through repression, but through awakening. You are not what you've done. You are not what was done to you. You are not your desire. You are not your shame. You are not the body. You are love, dreaming of form. You are spirit, playing dress-up. You are light, remembering itself. And now you are waking up. Welcome home, mighty companions.